Good morning, YouTube. Lofty's here. Got me trusty Shoeberth helmet with me. We're off for a bit of vloggage. I've got the bird with me. She's going to be on the back. We're going to talk a bit of nonsense. If you're interested in a bit of vloggage, April Vloggage, stick around. Well, here we are, YouTube. Just leaving Porthtowan. What a beautiful day. Lofty's here. I've got the bird on the back, look. Here she is. Little Linny. Little Linny's come for a ride. Anyway, Easter's come. Easter's gone. How about that? What can we do? Time, tick-tock, tick-tock. Anyway, I'm going to talk a bit of nonsense to you today. I want to talk about expensive motorbikes. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Is there any point in spending 30 grand for a motorbike? Let's face it. I think some of these bikes now are overpowered and overpriced. I don't know what you think. Talk to me in the comments. Okay, we're rolling again. Anyway, I've got my trusty new Shoeberth on. Do you like it? Oh, it's a cracker. Got the old Aoocci on. How about that? It's a cracker. Aoocci C3. Anyway, motorbikes. We've got speed limits everywhere. We've got an economy crisis. We've got the cost of petrol going through the roof. I don't know. Nobody's working. Nobody's earning any money. Business is slow. What's it all about? And then they tell you, if you want a new Ducati or a new Bimotor, you've got to spend 30 grand. 30 grand? I can't get my breath. 30 grand, and I got these bikes with 175 brake horsepower. Yes, the new KTM Super Adventure Evo, automatic. How much? 173 brake horsepower. Okay, it's not so badly priced. You can pick it up for about 19.5 grand. And then after about 6 months, you have to pay the top up of about 900 quid to keep the electronics package. No, not for Uncle John. I don't fancy none of that nonsense. Anyway, look at this for a bit of a road. Lovely bend, this one of the nicest bends in Cornwall. Flows and flows and flows, goes on forever. How about that? Anyway, as I was saying, 18, 19, 20, 25... 140, 150, 190 brake horsepower. It is madness. So here's me and Linny out on the little Himmy with all of our 40 brake horsepower having a ball. Now I've got to say, the market, especially with these Chinese and Indians coming over, bringing these smaller capacity bikes over, anything from 3.5, 4 grand up to about 9. It's affordable, isn't it? I've got to say, I looked on the website the other day, the Motorcycle News, and Honda are bringing out a retro CB404. It's absolutely gorgeous. Isn't that what we want? A nice bit of retro, somewhere around 40, 50 brake, ideal. Have plenty of fun on. I don't know, it's amazing. My old pal Tony, he's just picked up one of those 390 KTMs, the new off-roady version one. He said I can have it any time I want to do a video of it. I've got to say, I've looked at it, and the build quality, looks absolutely fabulous. Top notch. Anyway, so there you go. So small bikes. I've got to stop saying there you go. I've just been prompted by my even Leighton and Fuda behind me to say, stop saying okay, there you go. Well, you do get into these habits, you know. Some people say it might be a catchphrase. Hey, I bet that. Lofty's catchphrase. She just give me a smack round the head. There you go, Lofty's catchphrase. You won't forget that one, will you? Anyway, I better slow down. We've just entered a 30. We don't want to get into trouble. It's Bank Holiday Monday and there's camera vans everywhere. Take the fun out. Well, that's another reason. Why do you want 150 brake? Well, most of the roads, the potholes everywhere. Look at the surface here. The surfaces are breaking up. There's potholes everywhere. What you really need is a 21-inch front wheel to roll over the bumps. Spend no more than about 5 or 6 grand, and something that'll do 80 on the motorway if you need it to. But hey, Himalayan. Do you like me Himalayan? I love my Himalayan. It's quite funny because there's a local YouTuber around the corner. It's called the Everyday Biker. Anyway, he rung me up this morning. He said, "Lofty, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm making beds and cooking breakfast. What do you think I'm doing?" He said, "Would you fancy doing a bit of a blog with me?" I said, "Well, it sounds interesting, that does." I said, "What are you talking about, James?" He says, "Well, I wanted to do a new series about why we love our bikes and interviewing people who've got bikes and love them and just discussing what they love and why they love them." I said, "That sounds a great idea, that does." So hopefully in the next week or two, I'm going to do a bit of a joint video. I'll let him do it and we'll see how it gets on. Why do we love bikes? That's a good question, isn't it? Why do we love bikes? It's freedom, isn't it? Some of us have been riding. It's quite funny. We went out the other night for a game of Skittles. And Ashley says, "Well, when I was 16, all I wanted was a motorbike. I didn't want a car. I wanted a motorbike." I said, "Same as me. That's all I ever wanted, was to ride motorbikes. I didn't even start driving cars till I was about 20, 21, because I had absolutely no interest in driving a car." So why do we love motorbikes? I don't know. But there's so many wonderful motorbikes on the road nowadays. It's so good now that you can't pick a bad bike. Seriously. These Chinese bikes, anything. There's some boys out today. Hey, I look the GS Club. Let's go riding our GSs. Great bikes. Oh, very nice. At the back, we've got a Tiger. Lovely. Yeah, so don't worry about buying a bike. If you want a bike, go out and buy one. My old pal Stevie Curtin, the plumber over the road, great kid. He's decided at the age of 55 that he wants to become a motorcyclist. I said, "Go for it." Anyway, he went for it. Passed his test. I said, "What are you going to have? What strikes your fancy? What burns your desire?" He said, "I want a motor guzzi." I said, "Oh dear." I said, No, nothing wrong. They're beautiful motorbikes." I said, "What are you looking for?" He said, "I want an old Californian." I said, "For your first bike?" "Can't fault you." Anyway, come round the other day. Californian motor guzzi. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely wonderful. He said, "I think I might need something more suitable for riding around locally." I says, "Well, it's a bit of a cruiser. It was developed for the American market." I said, "Not for Cornish roads with potholes, little naturally lanes, dual carriageways with grass up the middle, all sorts of nonsense." Anyway, I said, "Go and try the Enfield out, the Gorilla," because he's only got short legs, little legs. I said, "Try the Gorilla out." I said, "You won't be disappointed." Anyway, so if I'm going to try one out. So here we are into Portreath. I've got my new Aoocci on, Aoocci C3. So easy, plug and play, no nonsense, just USB it in, stick it on the handlebars, use it for the day. CarPlay, you name it. Brilliant. These are coming in at about 100 quid. If you want one, you can use my code TLB22 and you can pick one of these up with 22% discount. How good's that? Aoocci C3, can't fault it. Anyway, have you enjoyed my little video? It's only a little short one just to say hi, how you going, what you up to. If you've enjoyed it, click on the like, subscribe, ring that little bell. I'm only too pleased to chat to you, talk to you, especially about motorbikes, tours, whatever you want to talk about. Anyway, as you can see, the sun's out, it's warm, it's about 19 degrees. It's probably the warmest day we've had in Cornwall this year. So this is the Lofty Biker. He's saying, ta-ra for now. Ta-ra.